Hi everyone, Kate here for another Victober video. Now that we are in the 5th year of Victober, I just each year progressively have thought about more ways to make Victober more festive, more traditions to have to look forward to in future Victobers. And I've, done a couple baking vlogs for this month, and then I thought, why don't I have some kind of like Victorian literature themed food that I would make throughout the month. And it would just be fun to share with all of you and maybe inspire you if you happen to be reading the books that I am baking, things inspired by those books. Now, the first two are not based on books, they're just either sort of British or Halloween themed. So I have 5 on my list. And the first are these tea and biscuit brownies. So for those of you Great British Bake Off fans, you may remember the contestant Martha, and she has a blog. My sister-in-law sent me this recipe, and I thought I have to make those. So it's just a wonderful combination where you're making brownies and you put tea leaves in the brownies. So there's going to be a really nice black tea flavor in there. And then on top of the brownies, once you have everything mixed up, you put tea biscuits. In America, we don't really call cookies biscuits, but these are definitely not like chewy cookies. These are crisp, and they can be dipped in tea and they hold up to a lot. And so there's like an international food section at Wegmans. I'm not going to bake my own biscuits because I don't want to take the time to do that and make the brownies. Now, I am hoping to have a very special visit that I will be doing in Victober. And if that happens, I will be making these for that purpose. That's what I'm hoping to make these for. And then secondly, for actual Halloween day, I want to make a pumpkin roll. Like jelly roll cake is a pretty international thing. I don't know how widespread pumpkin roll is, but you make a pumpkin flavored cake. And you roll it up like any jelly roll cake, roll it up while it's hot, right out of the pan. And then after it is cooled down, you put a cream cheese icing in it, and then you roll it together. I think pumpkin and cream cheese together just are such a beautiful combination. And I am that basic that I want to make something pumpkin flavored in the month of October. Okay, then moving on to the 3 bookish themed dishes I want to make. These are dishes with meat. So if you are vegan, I am sorry, but I am a meat eater. So the first one is based on Dracula. I thought that would be really fun to find a meal based on that. And especially since some of it isn't set in England, it could be a more kind of exotic type tasting meal instead of maybe the normal flavor sets that I'm used to. And I'm going to be making, so it's referenced Jonathan Harker in one of his diary entries. When they stay at the hotel in Klausenberg, talks about how they have a paprika roast red chicken. I think he says we had red chicken, meaning the paprika was on it. And that is a really like common dish in Romania. So easy to figure that out. And then he talks about mamaliga, which is kind of like in between grits and hominy, and it just sounds really, really lovely. And I love the idea of having something really like creamy and starchy to eat with a meat. And so Jonathan Harker talks about having these 2 dishes served to him at a hotel, and I will link the blog that I found the recipe and down below, because it seems like something really fun. And if you're a Dracula fan, something you might want to make yourself. Okay, then I thought I would look up 3 Men in a Boat, and I've been wanting to remake this dish for a while, and so 3 Men in a Boat is going to be my excuse. 3 Men in a Boat ends with them going to a French restaurant, and so for those of you that have been following me throughout the course of the summer, you'll know that love of my life, I made coq au vin, which is a French chicken dish. It's chicken cooked in red wine. And good gracious, is it amazing. I may or may not have cried the first time that I ate it. So it also involves pearl onions, which just like melt in your mouth when they're slowly cooked. It has mushrooms and a gravy and bacon. My mouth is watering just talking about it. So I love thinking about the 3 men after they've ended their very kind of disorganized fiasco of a trip, ending at a French restaurant and eating coq au vin because it's very much like comfort food, I would say. Then, lastly, for great expectations, I'm going to be making pork pies in the very beginning of Great Expectations, which is one of, I think, the best openers in Victorian literature. When Pip runs into a convict in the graveyard. It is such a memorable scene. It really sticks in your mind. And he goes to his home and he steals some food for this convict. And one of the things that he steals are pork pies. And once I looked into them more, it made a lot of sense why he would do that, because they're very portable. Everything is contained within the pie crust and they can be eaten cold. You don't, that's how people prefer to eat them. All of this. I did not know this about pork pie also, that you typically, that's how you eat it cold. So I was texting Lucy and Katie and saying, this recipe makes it sound like you eat pork pie cold. Is that true? Like, surely that can't be true. And then that was funny to them because they never ever thought about, eating it warm. That's just so normal. It's the norm to eat it cold. And what is unusual to me about pork pie is that you have your crust, you have your meat inside, but then you have a jelly around it. So once I realized there's a jelly in it that you make that if you warmed it up, the jelly would be all melted. So the whole point is eating it cold, you have a jelly. But I was thinking for people that were working, working class people, working 12-hour days, something like that has jelly and meat in it and, some carbs, that's really great fuel for the day when you have a long working day. So I have things to make jelly. I got some pig's feet, and it's going to be my first time making like a savory jelly. It will be an adventure. It's going to be messy. I don't know how good it will be, but I want to try. Yes. So those are the things I'm going to be baking. I look forward to sharing my adventures with you. I will be vlogging throughout the month. And hopefully I get to those 5 things. The paprika roast chicken and the coq au vin are definitely like the easiest to fit into my life because I have to cook supper for my family anyway. The pork pies, I might, you may even see them in the first reading vlog because I'm contemplating baking them the night before and then just having them for the first day of Victober, kind of to celebrate the first day. And because also with pork pies, you bake them and then they go in the fridge overnight before you even eat them. So I wouldn't even be eating them on the first day that they were baked. So those are the foods that I'm hoping to make, and I hope you enjoy watching me and following along, and have a lovely day. Bye.